Good morning and happy Tuesday to you all. So much energy in the room. Welcome to the 7th Breaking Barriers convening. We are extraordinarily excited to have you all with us. It's a wonderful experience to be back with so many familiar faces and to see loads and loads of new faces. We're really happy to have you all with us. My name is Richard Knecht. I am one of two facilitators for the event the next couple of days, so you'll get used to hearing my voice a little bit. You'll meet Elizabeth Estes, my Breaking Barriers confidant and partner in crime, and the brain trust behind Breaking Barriers. You'll meet her in just a moment. And let's see, if this is your fourth or more event, will you raise your hands and let us celebrate you? Some of you old timers, great to see you again. Thank you for joining us. Really happy to be with you as well. We have sponsors, as you can see on our slide deck here. We just should acknowledge the Mental Health Services Act Oversight and Accountability Commission, one of our major sponsors, along with First 5 California, Cal Hope Youth, the law firm of Atkinson, I forget Elizabeth's firm's name, and I can't read it, Adelson, Loya, Rudd, and Romo, the good folks at Just Advocates, and the Integrated Human Services Group are our sponsors. So a moment of appreciation for them. This wouldn't be possible without all of them. A little more housekeeping. There are obviously emergency exits here and out here. These side doors also lead to exits. It's a little bit roundabout. So if you do need to leave in a hurry, please know that there's ample spaces to vacate the building. The bathrooms are typically right back there through the center door, both men's and women's. There are other bathrooms in the house, but they might be on the second floor if the lines get long during our breaks and during lunch. Let's see. I think we want to pause for a moment and invite Jeanine Gaines from the Social Changery, who's going to lead us in a little land acknowledgement this morning here in Sacramento. Jeanine, good morning.
All right. Bosho ni connect Jeanine Miskonogos Nadejnakas, Bodwad Minada, Shishibani Knagazan, Bidi Gag. Hello, friends. My name is Jeanine. My traditional name is Miskonogos, which means Red Star, and I am Potawatomi from the Citizen Potawatomi Nation of Shawnee, Oklahoma. Welcome. I am honored to be giving our land acknowledgement today. As I mentioned, my tribe is from Oklahoma, so I am a guest on these lands, but it is always an honor just to acknowledge the original caretakers of this land. I'm also very excited because the city of Sacramento is one of the first major cities to adopt a citywide land acknowledgement that's used before city council, commission meetings, and all of that. So really proud of our city for leading the way. Yeah, Sacramento. All right, so if you guys would all please rise for our land acknowledgement. So to the original people of this land, the Nisenan people, the Southern Maidu Valley and Plains Miwok, Patwin Wintun peoples, and the people of the Wilton Rancheria, Sacramento's only federally recognized tribe. May we acknowledge and honor the Native people who came before us and still walk beside us today on these ancestral lands by choosing to gather together today in the active practice of acknowledgement and appreciation for Sacramento's indigenous peoples, history, contributions, and lives. Thank you, Megwach. Have a great day.
Jeanine, thank you for that lovely moment. We have a little message from Governor Newsom, I think. Elizabeth, is that on my computer right here, or do I just push a button? There you go. Like that? I'm going to give it one more click.
Hey everybody, it's Governor Gavin Newsom here, and I'm glad to be with you to talk about an issue that I know is near and dear to all of you. And I say that not just as a governor, near and dear to me as well, but also as a father. No one can turn a blind eye to this mental health crisis that is disproportionately impacting our kids. And I come here foundationally with a core belief that the more united we are, the better we can reach those in need. Through the Children and Youth Behavioral Health Initiative, which I had the honor of launching in partnership with the legislature just 2 years ago, we have a unique opportunity here in our state to completely reimagine the health system in an effort to more substantively support our kids. We put forward a master plan for children's mental health, investing an additional new money, $4.6 billion, to meet them where they are and to connect folks to the help they need when they need it. You know, there's an old African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. It's in that spirit of working together that we're integrating our healthcare system into everyday life through additional supports in our Community Schools Initiative, focusing on culturally competent practices and so much more to prepare and support our kids. So I just want to thank you for all the work you're doing. Thank you for your partnerships. And thank you, because our kids deserve nothing less than our very best.
How is everyone? This is like a very, very, very powerful room for me, for so many reasons I'm going to talk a bit about. But I'm Elizabeth Estes. For those of you that don't know me, I thank you for being here with literally everything that I am. We're going to do work here over the next 2.5 days. That's going to be some of the hardest work we'll ever do in our lifetimes. And it's the most important work, in my opinion, that we'll ever do in our lifetimes. And I can't do it alone. We can only do it together, as the governor said. I have to thank him for making that video for us. He's been such a champion for children and youth and families and all of us who are working to serve and support and who have dedicated our lives to serving and supporting children and families. That's who's in this room. And I've explained to people who haven't been here before that everybody who's ever come to this conference is here to improve our system and to make change and to do it together. Everyone in this room realizes that we're one. We're actually one in this room. And that is going to be both the theme of this conference and the work that we're going to do to create an integrated system, one system where we recognize that we're actually one. And I was just telling Richard that I saw the coolest thing recently. You probably have seen it before, where faces change into faces. Like one face will transform into another face. And I very much wanted that to be running here. And next year. But there is someone who has invented a technology that can take everyone's face in this room and show us that we're actually all one. And we can transform into one another, no matter our differences, no matter where we sit in this room or in the work that we do or in our lives. So I thank you for being here. It seems really crazy to me that uniting in care by, for, and with children and families is so hard. Is it hard work? Right? Anyone who's been here with me for years, anyone who's out there knows it's such hard work. And that seems so strange. But it is. And I've spent the past 8 years working with so many of the people in this room to figure out, why is it so hard? It seems so basic, so simple, like so exactly what we should all be doing, right? But it is super hard. Why doesn't our system operate in a more seamless way to include children, youth, and families in our leadership structures and in our quality improvement and control processes? Why doesn't it do that, right? Why do we measure outcomes that children, youth, and families don't actually even care about? Why are we utilizing those as our metrics for success? And actually, somebody brought that up this morning as I was just introducing myself to someone. That was like the first thing that they said to me, and I almost fell out of my chair because I was preparing these notes the other day, and it's one of the things that I think about all the time. Why is it so complex? Even the most seasoned attorneys and advocates can't navigate it. I happen to be one of those people. And we only know our part, by the way. Like, I happen to be an education and dependency attorney, but very few of us are in multiple systems. We only know our part of the system. We don't know the multiple parts of the system. And yet we have technology that can make that simpler. what I've learned is everyone in this room was born into this system. We were all born into this system. We did not build it. We didn't choose it. We didn't create it. But we, the people, can change it, because it turns out, who's the system? Us. We're the people in this room, and everyone out there that's working in this system. We are the system, so we can change it. For those of you who know me, you know Breaking Barriers was not born of careful planning or an intense desire to run a nonprofit organization. I'm a children's attorney in California, and I have been for 31 years, and I actually love my work and the people that I do it with. It was born, like so many bodies of work, of trauma. It was born of my trauma, from being a mass shooting survivor and a hostage. It was born of my PTSD and my road to recovery. And then once I got there, with all the support of my family and community and experts, I went to work in a world where I could see children and families with such robust entitlements not receiving them. And having worked across systems, I could see that part of the reason was the silos, was the barriers, was the inability to navigate a system that is unnavigable, was the fact that we only understand our one part. We don't understand the whole system. So how can I even refer a child to services and supports if I don't know they even exist for them? And I started to talk about that, out of crying, literally, at my computer. And the San Francisco Chronicle picked that up, and then Breaking Barriers was born. But it was really born of you, right? I wrote an article, but every single person in this room and every single person who's ever been here and joined with us to do this work, this is we work. This is us work. This work is impossible without everyone in this room being united in care to do it together. And so it isn't me. Anyone who's worked with me says, oh, Elizabeth, you. No, not me. We, us. That is the work that we're going to be doing here, and that is the important work that will be happening over the next 2.5 days together. So I cannot thank you enough for being here. I encourage us to open our minds. People often say to me, where's the paint by numbers, Elizabeth? Where's the paint by numbers to the perfect world that gets children and families what they need when they need it, what the governor just said? We don't have paint by numbers. We have us finding our path to that future, and if that is our intention, we the people, we will get there. Because we can change the world if we so choose in the ways that we want and need. And that is what we are going to do. I'm going to turn it over now to some people who I consider to be the most important people in this room. I was going to be turning it over to Toby Ewing, who's the executive director of the Mental Health Services Oversight and Accountability Commission, but unfortunately Toby can't be here. But Toby was then going to introduce the Sacramento Youth Mental Health youth who have taken the time to come here and speak to us about what they want and need, and about what uniting in care means to them. So I want to invite them onto the stage right now. And I'm going to have them introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Claire Conway. I'm 16 years old, and I'm a sophomore at SACYMH High School. I joined SACYMH as I had been overcoming my own mental health struggles, and I began to see how wonderful the world became with recovery. I want to share this experience with other youth and work to bring positive change so no one has to fight alone. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Meredith Parrington. I'm also 16 years old, and I go to Rio Americano High School. When I heard about this group, I decided to join because I knew how big of a problem mental health is among teens, because I've seen it in my own peers, and this group seemed like a good way to help with this issue.
And hi everyone, my name is Natanya Karat. I'm a first year student at UC Davis studying psychology, and part of why I'm here today is because I'm super passionate about social and behavioral health and all the intersections with youth communities. And part of my passion stems from my own personal experiences with mental health, but also seeing the experiences of those around me. And I've just been so thankful to have these outlets to speak out by working with SACYMH and on the Sacramento County Behavioral Health Youth Advisory Board, as well as a student assistant for UC Davis Health's Mental Health Resource Project Together for Wellness. And I'm very excited to be here, and I hope you all feel as empowered as I do getting to share up here.
Okay. Thank you so much for having us today. We are Sacramento Youth Mental Health, or SACYMH, and we are a youth-run, nonprofit advocacy organization working to improve the mental health crisis in teens today. In simpler terms, this means we are a group of teenagers who have seen how intensely kids are struggling these days between anxiety, depression, eating disorders, body issues, and everything in between. We see these battles within ourselves, our peers, and far too often, we witness those we care about not getting proper help. Formed in 2019 by a group of friends who knew far too well while watching their peers slowly lose themselves to mental illness looked like, SACYMH has made it their mission to create positive change for those who are battling. We at SACYMH want to be the voice for all those who are struggling in silence. Our mission is to speak and hear directly from adolescents, as the youth are the only ones who know what can truly help ourselves and our peers. Our goal is to take this information straight to adults in power, which, in one way or another, is all of you, and to prove that we not only need help, but teens are the only ones who know what kind of help teens need. Together, we are forging a path to the future, one where no one is alone in their minds fighting a losing battle. Thank you so much for having us today. We're thrilled to be here.
So currently we have been awarded two grants, the Cal Mesa grant in 2020 and 2023, and the MHSOAC Youth Advocacy Initiative grant in 2023. And these are some of the events that we've put on through our history. So the first things we as a group did in 2020 were webinars and pop-ups because we had to figure out some way to help during COVID. And then we presented to the Sacramento Theater Company a couple of times. And we also did our first UC Davis Science Cafe, which was called Quarantine. And then we did our second UC Davis Science Cafe in 2022, which was called Unmasked Youth Mental Health Needs and Solutions. And then a couple of our members went around to the classrooms in McClatchy High School and presented to those students. And then we also were finally able to put on our Mindset Conference, which had been delayed by COVID several times.
And in 2023, one of the first events that SACYMH held was the Hiding in Plain Sight documentary by Ken Burns. There was a film screening and a panel, which I was actually super lucky to be invited to be on, which is how I found out about SACYMH. We've also been collaborating with Together for Wellness, providing feedback on their mental health resource website, and providing or sharing surveys and feedback to promote the website. We've also been collaborating with the MHS OAC's Youth Advocacy Initiative, where we've worked with a bunch of youth from around the state to provide feedback and learn about what we'd like to see change within government, within the mental health arena. In September, a little while ago, we also held a booth at this big festival called the Farm to Fork Festival, where we distributed a bunch of surveys, collected hundreds of responses, and also shared about mental health statistics and our job here at SACYMH. And we've also been working with UC Davis for our third Science Cafe, which will be set to take place in January of 2024, about youth mental wellness.
So as you're looking for ways to improve teen mental health, these are some recommendations that we as a group think are important to keep in mind for the future. So our first recommendation is youth engagement. It's to create more groups like ours. So we've been told by so many people that our group is impactful because not only because our group involves teens, but because it is led by teens. We are able to be a voice for teens while also being able to relate to them, and we have found that when we share our stories, it is very impactful to the teens around us. We also think that the best way to figure out how to help teens is to go into schools and ask teens themselves. Our group has found that oftentimes people think they know what teens want, but they really don't.
All right, so this and the next couple of recommendations, or the following three recommendations, are inspired by the Behavioral Health Board that I work on and their Mental Health Resource Accessibility and Sustainability Brief, which we presented to the Sacramento County Office of Education and the County Board of Supervisors. So first of all, of course, one of our goals is to increase the amount of mental health practitioners and professionals on campuses for schools, having professionals who are able to connect with the diverse populations and individuals within these communities, and also making sure those are readily accessible and free for all students. Next, being accessible also means being able to meet students' comfort levels both on and off campus, which would mean also having telehealth programs that are properly advertised and made accessible. And the third one would be looking at mental health through a holistic lens. So educating the students, parents, and staff about all the different aspects of mental health, which could be mental wellness, social emotional health, what are different coping skills, and what are potential risk factors. And we'd also like to emphasize the importance of involving the community at every step of the way through the development of mental health resources, such as using community engaged resources or getting feedback from youth throughout every step of the process.
Many of our members, myself included, have faced and seen the peak of mental illness and mental challenges occur in middle school and or junior high. Personally, the most difficult year of my life was when I was 14 years old and in 8th grade. I witnessed my two best friends struggling with self-harm and eating disorders. Soon after, I developed these same issues as well. I was 13 years old when I started cutting myself. My friends were even younger. I developed an eating disorder at 14 that set me up for failure in high school. I only lasted 2 months into my freshman year until I was hospitalized. Stories like mine are not uncommon. Between shifting social groups and shifting hormones, middle school can be the most difficult time for youth. Personally, I would have benefited from more time and resources in middle school, and I know many of my peers feel the same. We believe that although it is crucial for teens to get help throughout high school, it's already too late for many. Prevention is key in fighting against the mental health crisis.
In schools, we have also found that through our own experiences and the experiences of our peers, that many students do not feel like they have a trusted adult on campus to go to. This is because school counselors, at least in our experience, don't make themselves available to students, and most teachers don't know how to handle students when they are having mental health issues. This is why we think that having a therapist on campus would be a good idea, along with having safe rooms without adults present that students can go to whenever they need to de-stress or have a private place if they need time alone. Further, not only do teens need ample counselors and therapists available to them, teens need adults that they can identify with. From race to LGBTQ+ related issues, youth want to have a safe adult who they can relate to and professionally connect with. Diversity is key when it comes to professionals representing our youth.
As I spoke on above, when I was in middle school, I witnessed my two best friends struggling with eating disorders and self-harm. My friends didn't have a trusted adult to talk to. They were not close with their parents, and any adult at school would report back to their parents or guardians if they were honest about what they were going through. The more severe issues get, the scarier it becomes to talk to adults. The scarier it becomes to talk to adults as the fear of consequences rise. This causes many teens to turn to their friends for support. It's easier to vent and get advice from your best friend rather than an adult you've just met. We believe that teens need to be educated on how to respond when this scenario goes down. Rather than letting a kid try to save their drowning friend and end up going down with them, we need to educate our youth so that they have the tools to keep themselves afloat while still helping their friend as well. Schools tend to be good about educating on how and why to report suicidal ideations, but this is just one component of the crisis teens face today. By introducing further peer-to-peer education, the burden of a struggling friend will not be too much to bear.
As Claire mentioned above, schools do a lot to educate about suicide awareness, but I think they should do more along the level of stress. For example, we did a wide event at my school about fentanyl that was mandatory for all 10th through 12th graders, and it was very informative, but I've never once listened to a presentation about mental health, about suicide, about stress, about any of the other issues we experience in high school.
To add on to what both I and Meredith have just spoke on, schools educate on suicide prevention in a multitude. We believe that although it is a crucial aspect, schools should provide further education and resources on less extreme mental health concerns. Between mid-class panic attacks and late homework due to depression, less crisis-related mental health concerns come up in school quite often. By educating students on how to manage their own mental health, as well as provide resources for these concerns, we can combat day-to-day battles more effectively. Before we let you go and enjoy this 3-day conference focused on the youth, please look around throughout this experience to see how many youth are actually present. As you learn and make decisions for adolescents, please pay attention to how many adolescents are there beside you. Please keep in mind how it feels to have choices made about you without your input or feelings involved. Simply put, over the next 3 days you spend discussing about the youth, observe how many are here. Thank you.
The report that we did at the Social Changery, we were really, really honored to have the opportunity to go around on the behalf of CYBHI's initiative and do listening sessions across the state of California and pull together and surface the voices of young people and their families in a paper called Youth at the Center, in partnership with a lot of community-based organizations that also engaged in these listening sessions that really helped to amplify the voices of all the communities across the state in what the vision for this reimagined mental health system might look like. And a lot of what the young people just spoke about is in that report. So it's good to hear those same themes echoed again and again by the young folks. And one of the themes that came out of that report was this idea that young people really wanted to have multiple ways of healing, multiple paths to healing, that everybody could find something that they connected to that was meaningful for them, not a one-size-fits-all kind of a solution. And one of those things that kept coming up in conversation after conversation was the idea that expressive arts was key to a lot of young people's healing. Music, dance, culture, writing, lots of ways of speaking their truth and healing in a creative kind of a way. And so we have a group of people here today to demonstrate that exact method of healing. I'm going to welcome to the stage up here Bay Area Creative, which is a team of spoken word artists, and they work in collaboration with mental health clinicians also to do a variety of workshops and trainings to help young people to find healing through the spoken word, through poetry. And they're going to do a performance for you today, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Please welcome Bay Area Creative.
Right on, thank you. My name is Jenna Robinson. I'm an expressive arts therapist and program director for our program Revisions, our therapeutic writing program. And we're just gonna jump in. Is that all right? Okay. Is that all right though? Like, I gotta hear y'all. All right, I don't know if y'all ever been to a slam, but you gotta make noise, right? You get the show that you deserve. So if you want energy, you have to give energy. It's a collective practice, right? So if you hear something that moves you, say something. It's okay. It's not rude. I mean, don't have a conversation about it in your chair, but you can and ah and snap and clap in the middle of a poem. I'm so hype. I'm a little bit too much for the mic. All right, so we're gonna jump in. I just want to tell you a little bit about Bay Area Creative first. What does community look like to you? At Bay Area Creative, we believe that community is a place that nurtures members to step into their authentic being, where your story is not just tolerated, your presence is celebrated with a snap, with a clap, with a stomp, with a go in, poet. Remember why you wrote it. The setting doesn't matter. Detention facility, courtroom, therapy center, hidden in composition notebooks, on a stage, in front of a mic. How we teach people how to pick up the pen, how to declare themselves into existence, healing through intergenerational wounds and violence, to step into a litany of courage. The courage to tell your story, the courage to listen, the courage to be connected, the courage to intervene. We are a team of performance poets, spoken word artists, musicians, rappers, dancers, artists that teach youth how to simile their way into new futures. Teach adults how to reclaim their voice through personification and wordplay. Help families rebuild burnt bridges through rhyme and rhythm, to reach towards the God in each other again. Our society deprioritizes art and creativity. In the same way, we deprioritize care for ourselves. We are foragers, bringing fire back to the page, back to our lives. Light up stage with a community that dares to believe their story matters. Your story matters. A chorus of voices tending to trauma and speaking truth to power. Our stories shape our lives. What limits are you putting on your horizons? Why not take a chance at writing the future you deserve, to breathe into the beloved community we so desperately need? This community is reciprocal. We have to witness, we have to actually witness each other, and also have the courage to be witness, okay? So I hope that what we have to share today, all of our stories have been on both sides of the conversations y'all are having today. Being someone receiving services as people who are trying to
help to give some of those services.
That's right. All right, community, collaboration. So I'm going to share a poem, and then my brothers here are going to share a poem too. And I hope that it inspires you to share your story at this conference or in your life, in your communities, and that you help other people do that as well. Oh, these got our names on them?
Yeah.
Oh, professional, yes. Free coffee and everything, it's amazing. I am my father's daughter. Not in that stereotypical sense of daddy's little princess, hell no. My father made me into a warrior, a soul on fire, superior to my older brothers, you see, because I have desire to inspire and will not retire until I acquire higher ground. This being you see in front of you has not always been a threat. Little girl with bouncing blonde curls, quick to quit before even breaking a sweat, crying about how I just can't do it. Right? There's no such thing as can't. Robinsons don't quit. Can do, can do, can do. Yo, he was super annoying. Reluctantly, I absorbed each phrase like sun rays, occasionally blistering my mind, unable to conceive the meaning of the heat at the time. I admired him, as did everybody else, a charmer, a leader, a Caesar of his own era. He could entertain and challenge you all within the same breath. Yo, I was proud just to hold my daddy's hand. Yet we are both Geminis to a T. Lonely in the company of dual souls, liable to veer, to contort to any sort of person at any given moment. But that's just how passion is. A fire continues to burn regardless of result, negative or positive. I remember when he disowned me, when my father loathed me because I was already a lioness at the age of 10 and I would not stand for some man beating my mom and my brothers. He should blame himself for making me stronger than the others. So yes, I was the one who called child services. Cora wouldn't let him be alone with us anymore. Every door had to remain open, hoping his rage would subside, but I knew otherwise. That little girl found no warm embrace, because when my dad looks into my face, he sees his own shame reflected in its place. My Christmas present that year. Y'all, no more violence. Instead, rage and disappointment wrapped in silence. I still feel my little heart burn. But I'm just as stubborn. That's the day I taught myself how not to cry. He did not deserve my weakness. My tears turned into aversion for his perversion of fatherhood. I am my father's daughter, but I am not my father. I am open and sincere. I do not let my emotions steer my decisions, y'all. I am smart and willing to listen. I'm strong, not controlling. I'm a charmer. Not a manipulator. I'm a fighter. I'm a leader. But most importantly, since I am my father's daughter, I am a dreamer. Want to get to know me better? Go ahead and stare into the portals to my soul. These green eyes don't lie. Then again, that's one of the lies my father told. Thank you. All right, keep that applause up for Jackson McBrayer.
Hey, all right. So I am Jax McBrayer. I'm a poet, comedian, skydiver. I go crowd surf in my wheelchair. I'm that guy. And maybe you haven't met somebody like me, and that's fine, because I'm used to that. I get to educate kids. I get to roll up in front of a room full of strangers and be like, oh, you've never met somebody in a wheelchair like me? Cool, I get to be the one. And I get to help kids find their voice, and that is incredible, because I was adopted at 5 years old. Clap it up for adoption. Adoption is dope. Like, I never understood the insult you're adopted. Like, how you gonna try to tell me that being adopted is an insult? Dude, I was picked out of a line of other children. I know I'm dope. Like, I'm sorry you're not adopted. That must suck. Like, I know my parents loved me to a dollar amount. They kept the receipt. Like, what? I am amazing, and I get to share that with the world. Everybody I met because I was adopted. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be in this room right now, but I got adopted by an amazing family. And I'm at the age now where my friends are having kids on purpose, which is like, well, that's weird, but okay. And one of my friends was like, yo, I want to adopt. And I was flattered, because I was like, wait, you want to have a kid like me? Oh, I'm so down. Like, that's amazing. You would get to be an amazing parent, because people who are willing to adopt are better than those who don't want to. Full stop. Like, I'm not pulling my punches here. Like, if you want to adopt, you're a better human being. I know my parents are better than most people's parents. Like, I know that factually accurately. My birth mom was a drug addict who put me in a wheelchair because she couldn't stop doing drugs while she was pregnant with me. And I was born a few months early. And I was like, yo, this is why I don't believe in zodiac signs. Because was I supposed to be a different person entirely? Well, I don't know, because I got a rewrite. I got adopted by an amazing family who loves me, who helped me become the person I am. Make no mistake, in no uncertain terms, adoption saves lives. And so thank you. If all you do is want a kid, then adopt someone who needs a home. Because when need meets want, you're a better person. So I've dealt with some hard days in my life, it's true. But what I found is that depression is a liar. Depression tells you, oh, stay in, don't go out, it's not gonna help you. But that's just my depression lying, because I'm amazing. When I go out and I perform in front of a room full of strangers, that's my happy place. On my 7th skydive, I was the first guy in the plane, the first one who was going to jump out of the airplane for the 7th time in my life. I'm going to do it more, don't worry. But I was there and I was thinking, breathe in, breathe out. Not because I was afraid, but because I was centering myself like before I get on stage. I was centering myself like, yo, I know I'm supposed to be here. There is no avoiding an amazing time. There is no way to avoid how joyful I will feel falling at terminal velocity as the thoughts fly through my face faster than the wind that's about to blow through my ears. I know that when I land on that planet, I will be safe again, but I am safe right now before the amazing experience, and I'll be safe all the way through it because I've done this before. See, for me, extraordinary is easy, and being normal is something I will never be able to do. But I get to share that with young people and help them find their voice and help them say that stuff. And when I meet people who are older than me who start complaining about how, oh, young people are lazy, I'm like, no. Young people are working harder than you ever had to because we broke the economy. So don't tell me that young people are lazy because they're working a lot harder than you ever had to. And I'm going to help them find their voice so they can help rebuild the system that y'all broke. And yeah, I do love being in a wheelchair. And my friend asked me, he's like, what's the best part about being in a wheelchair? I was like, well, I don't know, man, because I'm pretty and I'm talented and I'm charismatic. Like, your mileage may vary. If you hop in a wheelchair, I'm not going to guarantee your life is going to be as dope as mine, but I understand why you're asking about it. I make this look good. So my baby nephew, my little cousin, he was born with cerebral palsy. And I was really excited when I found out. I was like, yo, that's great. And my family yelled at me. They all in one familiar voice was like, Jackson, that's inappropriate. But they didn't understand why I was so excited about baby cousin has cerebral palsy. Because I get to be in his life. Do you know how we make the world better? You guys do. You reach out into the future and you say, I guarantee your life will be better than mine because I am in it to make sure that that happens. And that's what we do. That's what Bay Area Creative does. That's what I do. That's what all y'all do. And that is an incredible superpower because forget being normal. Let's be extraordinary. Oh, how much time I got? Were you timing me? Okay, all right, I'll do a quick one before I get out of here. So, my mouth free running. I'm an edificer like Altair, leaping and landing off the ledges of the lexicon. I lovingly learn this language. In the distance, I see a man-made monument to Machiavellian ignorance standing mocking. These Templars build temples, attempting to trump towers. They build walls of prejudice to protect against progress. So we assassins respond. We sharpen our tongues with our hidden blades, the blades we all carry with our wit and our will, sharpened with our witticisms to assassinate ignorance. Governments be afraid of our people, because we're never going to stop talking. Oh, all right, everybody keep it going for my buddy PG.
Great job.
Oh, you want to be fancy? Yeah. Use the podium.
You know, I used to have a lot of wants and a lot of needs, but now I am. So I am fancy. We're going to do this again. How y'all doing today? Good. Okay, I love the answer, the response, because from the first time, you know, we was down here, I'm loving how the energy is picking back up. Do y'all feel that? Yeah. Yes. Let's do a community breath. You know how that goes? So we're going to inhale for around 4 seconds and breathe out for 8. We're going to try this. So 3, 2, 1. Inhale. And exhale. We're going to do one more breath. Inhale. Exhale. And that's something I love. I have been wondering about what I wanted to do up here. You know, I was going to get on stage and talk about some of the lows that we can hit as a human. Being in places that are unconducive to your mental health. I've definitely been in those places, you know, had depression sneak up on me, days where I felt like I didn't want to go outside, but I had reminded myself with this. I don't know if y'all know, my name is Papi Grande. The I is a 1, the E is a 3, because 13 is my favorite number. But that isn't my motto. That reminds me to live big. And I live big in everything I do, especially when I had nobody else to remind me. And so, like I said, I do, and I am. I am a lover with passion like fire, fighter booming with tenacity in one vessel. I am a thought provoker, an optimistic joker with the power to speak life into the world. I am he who shall not be named anything other than which I choose to allow. I am a spiritual being who chooses which battles to partake. Liberation of the mind is what keeps it from running astray. I am a road of possibilities, as we've all had choices. I am no different. I am the difference. I am born in the fall, but still I rise. I am a snowflake drifting towards the ground, with a heart of fire, flies, light up the night. I am a road in the dark, with twists and turbulent memories embedded in my frequency, so frequent with this course that I don't need eyes to see. I am the immense pressure building behind the eyes of pirates, screaming their last eyes to their captain, walking the plank. I am a heart that sank. I am a memory bank that draws a blank whenever I am called upon to play in your game. I am tired. I am inspired. I am liberated. I am done with waiting. I am over patient. I am done with patience until I heal myself. I am overstaying my welcome to deal with tendencies that leave my soul vacant. I am no longer trying. I am doing lately. I am watching me make it. I am titillated. I am successful. I am no longer the caterpillar with much to learn. I am learning itself. Change comes when you ask for the help and set out to do it yourself. I am not done. Thank you. Thank you all. And before I leave, I just want to remind y'all that y'all are not done either. We are up here providing change for everybody, ourselves, the future. We up here today are with Bay Area Creative. We are a nonprofit organization who hires local professional teaching artists, put them in schools with students, kids from all different types of backgrounds, ethnicities. We're learning and we're teaching them how to do poetry and speak their voices into the world. So if you want to know more about us, you can search us up at bayareacreative.org. If you want to know more about me, y'all can look me up at Poppy Grande. The I is a 1, the E is a 3. And this next Saturday out in Oakland, we have a showcase for my sister. She's also an artist. Her name is The Ill Nye, but it's THA. And she's a singer, dancer, rapper. I know the host. I'm the host. So it's going to be a great time. If y'all ever want to come this next Saturday, just, look me up and I respond. Thank y'all for your time.